This story happened to me back in 2012. I was working two jobs because we had a issue where the money that my dad was giving to my mom after the divorce, we were not receiving it. He had a accident. As I told you in previous stories, he is a pilot. Well, he was a pilot, but he had a accident on his private plane, let's say, and then he lost his job and he was almost 2 months at the hospital. Almost died, but make it through. Anyways, because we stopped receiving the money that he was giving, and my first job that I ever got was making very bad money, I decided to get a second job as a collection agency. Basically, my job was to call people that were 30 to 60 days delinquent on loans related to credit cards, auto payments, and sometimes equity loans, which I never understood. But nevertheless, um, I was working there probably 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. And on my first or second year, I cannot remember. I remember pieces of 2013, but since I wasn't sleeping a lot, I didn't have uh, a good understanding of the time. Uh, but a girl came by. Um, it wasn't a girl, it was more like a woman. Yeah, let's put it that way, because I usually call girls, girls my age or way younger than me. And basically, this woman, she intrigued me. She was very white, very, very white. And she used makeup that made it look whiter, if you know what I mean. When somebody's very white and they use pale makeup, they kind of like shine. It's hard to like not pay attention to them. She had a few freckles on her cheeks and face, and very long, dark black hair. For intended purposes, let's call this girl Sharon. Sharon was a woman that I was 22, 23 at the time. I will say she was 36 or 39, maybe early 40s, late 30s. Yeah, I know. Don't judge me. Anyways, um, I knew her name because on our computers we had our first and last name. I don't know who idea was that, but I sat, deliberately next to her and I didn't talk to her. I was just staring at her thinking, damn, she is so good looking. Not only her body, but the fact that she was so mysterious, wearing black all the time, and she had a beautiful voice. I still remember it, which is very, let's say, cringy because of the way that things ended, but let's not get ahead of myself. Anyways, Sharon, um, I didn't say anything to her, and the next day I sat not next to her, but across from her, and I had a few cookies that I purchased, and I offered her one, and she took it, and I was very happy to see her eating and while smiling at me. Anyways, um, days pass by, and my coworkers tell me, "Hey, I noticed you'd have taken interest on that girl," and I was like, "No, not really," and they were like, there was a guy named Luis, and Luis told me, "Hey, listen, don't go out with that girl. That girl is troubles. You don't want to be next to that girl. You don't want to talk to her." And I told Luis, "What are you talking about? Why is she so bad?" And he was like, "I know you have like, I think I have Friday, Saturday off or Sunday, Monday off, but Luis had a schedule that he used to work like 4 days a week and 3 days off, compress a schedule." And Luis told me, "Hey, this girl is mean. She's really bad. The way she talks with her cousin here that works with her, not to tell you something, dude, but you're a good person, and she's not. She doesn't deserve that you actually take an interest on her." Uh, this is weird because Luis was the type of guy that was very honest, and Luis will never deter me to date somebody just because he wanted to date her. He didn't show any interest on her. He was more on the younger section, He was like 40 something. And he was like, I think already married. And if she saw a good looking girl, it was mostly 20-year-olds. So I was like, I don't think Louis is trying to play me or something. Anyways, my boss also told me his name was Javier. Javier told me, hey man, I noticed you're taking an interest in Sharon. If I was you, I will stop. Look at her. And basically her age, it's probably double as yours. She has more experience, and I'm not talking about something being sexy. It's dangerous when a woman that way or anybody with a lot of experience takes advantage of an inexperienced boy like you. He said, I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just saying that she has more experience in life. She can use that experience to take advantage of you. Not to trying to be rude or anything. I said to Javier, thanks. I appreciate your advice, not only as a boss, but as a friend. Anyways, the boss of Javier, Jimmy, told me, hey, can I speak with you? And I was like, wow, this is very weird. He said, Javier told me you took interest in Sharon. Is that true? I was like, well, I find her attractive. Jimmy just was the type of manager that was zero BS. And he would tell me, you're doing a good job or not. And he told me once, I admire you because you work so hard and yet you never work on collections and you're our top collector for months. I took pride on that and I used to tell my mom, like, wow, I'm new on this and I'm already rocking. And basically, Jimmy said, stay away from Sharon. Girls like that don't deserve guys like you. I didn't listen to any of those three guys because I was so like obsessed with that girl that I wanted to just date her. 2 weeks passed while I'm thinking and very sleepy and, work in general. And the second week, I'm like, I want to ask her out. And I realized she doesn't come. She doesn't come. And I asked my boss, hey, where's Sharon? And he was like, oh, you didn't know? When you're on your days off, she fell from the stairs and she broke her hand in many pieces and she is on a medical leave. And I was like, wait, how? And okay, I was like, okay, maybe she's going to come back in a month or so. 2 months or so passed by and I asked my boss, where's Sharon? And he's like, oh, she quit. Her medical leave is over, but she said she doesn't want to work here anymore. Being completely heartbroken, I had Facebook back in 2012 and 2013, so I look her up and I add her. She accepts me right away, which is, a good sign. And, I just say hello. And she says hello back. And I asked her, hey, do you remember me? And she was like, oh, yeah, the dude that gave me the cookie. And I was like, no way she remembers that. Um, I just told her that I hope she was feeling better, that I miss her beautiful presence. Yes, I said that. Her beautiful presence at work and that she used to make me smile. I was writing at that time. Um, I still write, but not as much as before. I think before, since you had a lot of energy and passion on you, when you're young, you just want to express yourself and you just want somebody to be there with you and appreciate what you do and what you do right. Anyways, she told me that that was the most beautiful thing that she ever heard. I wrote her, an entire poem or free writing, whatever you want to call it. She told me she is an artist, but she also writes songs and poetry and stuff. And she wrote me something back, very beautiful. I cannot remember it, but it was back on my Facebook chat, which I don't have access anymore because I deleted Facebook a long time ago. And well, I couldn't believe it. The fact that something did this cheesy work and this girl was showing an actual interest on me, it struck me by surprise. But was something really odd is that she told me, hey, I live close to your house. And I was like, really? So my house was like maybe half a mile from her house. I didn't waste any time and I asked her out. She told me I can't right now, because of the hand issue that I had. Let's see ourselves next week. I was working 2 jobs during the day and night, and I was only sleeping maybe 4 hours every day. And maybe on Sundays or so, when I was only working one job, I slept eight. Yeah, I don't know how I make it through for those 2 years, but I was able to make it through. Sharon tells me, hey, um, let's see each other at the park that it's near here. It was probably 8 to 9 p.m. I had to start shift at 10, but the transportation of the place that I work used to pick me up because there were no buses at that time, okay? And basically, I see her. She is wearing all black, a tight clothing that make her body even look more amazing. Um, the thing about this park where we were sitting, I was robbed there. I was robbed there twice. Once when I was 12, and another time a year ago or so. One with a knife and the other one with a weapon at my face, a gun. Basically, I was very scared, but just seeing her just removed every fear that I had. And we were sitting on a park bench. Imagine a park bench, probably near the entrance, a very cold night, and a full moon. And when I see her, her eyes start shining, and I think about, wow, she is very beautiful, even more beautiful under the moonlight. I grab her hand and I tell her, "You have no idea how long I waited to see you and, just to feel your hand. And I cannot believe this is real. Please tell me I'm not going to wake up crying in my bed because this is unreal." She just looks at me and smiles, all blushing. And I realize her eyes are, let's say, orange, or well, not orange, they're brown, but the moonlight makes it look like they were yellow or orange, which I found that so attractive. And she said, I'm gonna make you realize this is not a dream. And she kisses me, and as soon as we were kissing, a girl starts playing guitar like on a house. Such a beautiful song that I don't even know, maybe it was an original song. Everything was so perfect that I thought she was the one. Sharon told me I'm 42, and I told her I'm 21. And she was like, "Wow, you're just a few years older than my daughter." I asked her, "Do you have kids?" She said, "Yeah, I have three." And I was like, "Okay, uh, okay, I don't mind. I don't care. I just care about her. I don't care about anything else." I was 21. She told me my daughter is 16. Um, she had like another 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. Well, that didn't struck me as weird. Like, she had this many kids and she told me they were all from different dads. And that didn't even register, right? My mom called me and said, "Hey, come back home because, you have to work." And, I lost notion of time. I just sprint back home and I was just so happy that I didn't even got tired. I was happy during work, just imagining, her lips and everything that has happened, how beautiful she is, and how lucky I was really to find the perfect person for me that not only likes writing, but writes me back and tells me that I'm very good looking. I was starting to leave my hair long, and she just grabs my hair and tells me, "You have beautiful hair. Never cut it. I love your hair, and I love you." And that just got me, and I was completely in love with her. Anyways, a few weeks pass by, and I realize she doesn't talk to me. And being this obsessed and in love with this person, I write her back, "Hey, Sharon, what's going on? You haven't, talked to me. And I don't like to be pushy, but, we're kind of dating, right?" She writes me back and tells me, "Hey, I don't know if you knew this, but singing career is not a job that leaves you a lot of money. Uh, I work every now and then with hotels and in the beach areas, but sometimes they just don't call me, and I don't have any job for now almost a month." This was back almost near December or so, and we get something called a Christmas bonus, which is pretty much a month worth of your salary tax free. And she told me, "I don't know how I'm gonna be able to pay rent." Me being the idiot that I was, completely in love with her, I told her, "Let me give you the money, and you can pay me back when you get it." I I should have suspected that this was going wrong when I told her, "Can I go to your house and then give you the money?" Don't get me wrong, back in 2012, I didn't even have an online banking account. I just had, I took money out of ATMs. in my country, online stuff just became really popular probably on 2017 and 18. But anyways, I was taking money out of ATM. So I was standing in my house with $400. I remember my mom told her, "Who's that money for?" I lied to her and told her, it's for a friend. She's gonna pay me back. She just lost her job, and I don't want her to end in the street. Using the excuse like, Mom, this has happened to us before. Remember when we didn't have anybody that will help us when we lost the house? I want to be that support for this person. She's really important to me. My mom said, "You're never gonna see that money back." And I said, "No, I will. I will. Trust me, I will." Oh man, she was so right. But I didn't listen. Of course, I was young and in love. Why would I listen? Anyways, I give her, I tell her I have the money. And she responds back, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay, can I go to your house and give it to you?" And she said, "No, no, no, I don't want you to come to my house. It is so shameful that I'm dating a 21-year-old and I'm 42." And I was like, that didn't even register. I was like, "Okay, I don't want to embarrass you in front of your kids, right?" She said, "Do this, go to this place and give the money to my daughter, Ashley." I meet the daughter and she's like, "Are you X, Y, and Z?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, my mom sent me here." I was like, "Give this to your mom and tell her to be well and that I love her." She just looked at me weird and left. And 5 minutes later, Sharon tells me, "I just got the money. I don't know what to say. This is the cutest thing anybody has ever done for me." Again, to me, that was like, wow. She didn't want me to visit her, but somehow she told her daughter what? That some stranger is giving her $400. Anyways, 2 weeks pass by and she's not talking to me. And you know, had Facebook, but I avoided the homepage because it was just random stuff. But I realized she's going to clubs and having fun. So I felt immediately offended. Wow, maybe she was lying and just to get money out of me. So I start messaging her and I'm like, "Sharon, what's going on?" And she doesn't reply. She doesn't reply. So I decided to block her and just take my losses and say my mom was right. Basically, as soon as I block her, 3 days later, she messaged me and says, "Hey, you blocked me on Facebook." And she wrote me this on WhatsApp, a very popular chatting app in Latin America. And she says, "Hey, you blocked me." I was like, "Yeah, I did." And she was like, "Why?" I was like, "What do you mean, why? I gave you the money. You're there clubbing. You don't even talk to me." And she said, "I told you I have a complex life. I'm a mother." I'm like, "Yeah, and I'm a young guy in love that also has a family to take care of." Um, and he was like, "Yeah, but it's harder to be a mom. I need to have some distraction. My life is too hard. You have no idea. You have never lost a child." I was like, "That is true. That is true. But I show you something that you told me nobody has shown you, which is love. I expect some of that back." She didn't take this very good, and she told me, "I didn't even want your money. I don't know why you even helped me. You're a bad person." I said, "I'm the bad person, right? You took my money and I'm the bad person." She said, "I never asked you for the money." I was like, "No, but you keep telling me that you were going to be kicked out of your house. Why do you think me as your boyfriend or lover are supposed to just leave you on the street?" And she said, "I don't even know why I agreed to date you. You're so immature." I was like, "Well, you're even more immature because you dated me. So that means that you're dating a kid, knowing that you're very mature, and that since you're so mature, it means that only your age has grown, but not your brain." She just started yelling at me on WhatsApp, and I blocked her there too. I didn't even want to read her messages. I was heartbroken for 2 weeks, almost crying every day. I remember reaching home and just staying outside near a tree crying like for straight 20 minutes. And then head home, enter my house and my mom be like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Well, I have allergies and I really do. But it was an allergy. So I was crying about that. It got to the point that my boss, Javier, noticed that I was crying while I was working and he told me, "Hey, um, come here." He got really mad at me and say, "Why you don't express how you feel to me? Like go upstairs to the bathroom, wash your face, drink some water, take some time off, If you need an hour, I don't care. Just come back when you're not sad. You're a very nice guy. If that woman that I warned you did something bad to you, that doesn't define you as a person. Those words will stick to me forever. That nobody should have the power to tell you who you are or what you can be. So I really thank Javier for that. He wasn't like the friendliest manager, but he was very honest and appreciate our work. And those words stick with me today. What is scary about this story is not about a particular paranormal or something like that, but how you can get obsessed with somebody to the point that you ignore basic red flags, to the point that you give part of your financial stability to someone you barely know, and yet, just for a small type of affection that she never even showed. That makes me wonder, can this happen again? Can I meet somebody that this way and feel the same and just go head first? Or is it something that only happens when you are young? Or maybe that event traumatized me so much that I don't want to be with anybody anymore? Or when I meet somebody, I have very low expectations thanks to her? Or is it my fault that I put all my expectations on her and now I'm blaming her instead of blaming me? What scares me is not the fact that I was maybe projecting my insecurities to her. The what scares me is that I almost lost, the ability to think about for myself without hurting my life. I just repeated this to myself. I existed before I met her. Therefore, even without her, I'm fine. I had to repeat myself that every day for a month. And even today, when I tell this story, the scary thing is not all the money that I lost on her. The scary thing is that somehow when I picture her, I still tremble and think, God, that was a very scary and crazy obsession. Story number two. This one is not, I will say it's scary, but it's an obsession. This time I wasn't obsessed, but listen out. Okay. It's 2005 or 2004. I can remember the exact date. And I was in 8th grade. Well, 7th grade heading to 8th grade. Anyways, this chick that approached me randomly and gives me, let's say, $10. And I'm very happy because I received money. Buy junk food. Um, I didn't I was 15 or 13. I didn't even understand if a girl gives you something might mean something else, you know what I mean? Anyways, um her name, let's call her Gabby. Gabby was a very white girl, uh blonde, almost red hair. Her hair was very interesting. She wasn't, let's say, very good looking. I know that I sound very vain, but I was 13, 14. Anyway, she gave me that money, and suddenly everybody was bothering me like teenagers too, like, oh, she's your girlfriend and stuff. I told people, no, she is not my girlfriend. What you guys are talking about? Anyways, uh, there was a girl I like. I was in 7th grade, but she was in sixth. Her name was Maya. Well, that wasn't her name, that was her nickname, but anyways, her name is not important. Uh, Gabby knew that I like Maya, and she said, hey, nice to meet you. I'm X, Y, and Z. I noticed that you like Maya. And it's like, yeah. Maya knew that I like her because, everybody gossips in school. I told my best friend who I like, and he was like, dude, I'm not going to tell anybody, right? And he told everybody. Anyways, um, I used to just try to get along with Maya, but that was very hard. Um, Maya was a small girl, a little bit, let's say, overweight or chubby, a beautiful smile, black hair, and she looked like she was older than actually, like a ninth grader or eighth grader. Like she developed very fast, if you know what I'm trying to say or where I'm getting to. Anyways, um, when I tried to ask her out, there was somebody always around, and I don't like crowds. I don't like a lot of people. I like talking to people one on one. This has always been the case since I'm a kid. I don't like crowds. I don't like people making a lot of noise. So, anyways, Back in the day, if you're like from my generation, the 90s, we used to use, in those ages, at least in Latin America, Messenger, MySpace, and High Five. I was into Messenger a lot. I love Messenger. I was a diehard Messenger fan, thinking that that was the future. Yeah, right. Anyways, I got Maya's email and I was talking to her, but like just saying hello and how are you, and not even telling her she's cute. Even to this day, probably my hands shake a little bit when I think about her because I was truly in love with her. Probably she was my first crush. Anyways, I also had Gavi on Messenger, and Gavi will message me constantly, which I was like, yeah, she is cute, but I prefer Maya. Anyways, Maya, I was failing miserably with Maya. I didn't talk to her or anything. It has been like a month, and all I could say is pass next to her class and just smile at her and run. And Gavi says, hey, you like Maya, right? And I tell her, yes, I do. And she said, oh, I'm friends with her. So let me do this. Um, you live in X, Y, and Z, right? I did nothing crossed my mind like that is wrong. How did Gabby knew where I live if she has never been here? And I said, yeah, I do live there. How she got my address, I'll never know. Anyways, she said, I'm gonna bring Maya to your house because you have a big park in front of you. That makes me think that she was there in front of my house or near my house before without me even noticing, which is today I notice is creepy, but back when I was 14, I thought it was cool. Anyways, she said, I can bring her. There's a lot of places, and you'll be there along with her. So, back in the day, you remember those Lance Armstrong things that you will put in your arm that have like live strong and all those messages, those like rubber bands or so. Anyways, I had a few of those and I wanted to give one to Maya. Yeah, make fun of me. And Gabby said, yeah, I can bring you Maya to your house. And I was like, okay, but bring her to the park because I was a teenager that didn't want to tell my mom, hey, this is the girl I like. It's kind of like embarrassing, even to this day. Anyways, Gabby says on this Saturday, and I think it was like the day later, I'm going to bring her to you. So I wait for her and Gabby messaged me, a text, not even an app. She tells me, hey, Maya is here with me. And I just tell my mom, hey, there's a few friends here. I'm going to go and have a walk with them on the park. And I was really excited. My mom could tell. My mom was probably like, yeah, this guy is going to probably see his best friends. I didn't tell her who the person was that was outside of my house because they waited me in the park. I walk into the park and I'm trying to find Maya and Gavi everywhere. I see them near a tree. And Gavi says, hey, uh, this is Maya, right? You know her. And Maya blushes while smiling at me. I blush while smiling at her. Gabby says, oh, I'm getting a call from my dad. I'll be right back. You guys can walk. And I was like, wow, Gabby is really cool. She's a really cool friend. Anyways, I'm walking with Maya and I'm just, being nervous, but at the same time, I really want to, give her a kiss or something. So I tell her, hey, you look very pretty even without with the uniform and without the uniform, but that didn't came out in the right way. And she was like, what do you mean without the clothing? I was like, no, 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 no. With the current clothing you have, you look very good. And she just laughed at me being nervous. So I started asking her, are you from here? Your accent sounds different. She said, no, I'm from Colombia. I was like, wow. Yeah, Colombia definitely have beautiful women, right? And she was like, I guess we do. And I was like, well, when I look at you, I know it's true. Uh, I do say those type of things when I'm nervous. So, anyways, we sit near a tree, and I take one of my dumb rubber bands from Lance Armstrong, like Live Strong, whatever. I tell her I wanted to give you this, and she just extends her hand, and I put it on her, and I was like, wow, this rubber band looks so much beautiful on you, and she just blushes. I was like, hey, Maya, I don't know, but I really like you. And she just smiles and tells me, you do? I was like, yes, I do. Since the moment I saw you, I wanted to be with you and tell you that. Um, I kissed her there and dude, it felt amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. It was really good. Anyways, um, few weeks later, we were talking on Messenger, sending each other "I love you" and hearts and all that teenage stuff that that you probably had with your first crush. And Gabby was asking me, "How's the relationship going?" And I was like, "Really good. I really appreciate what you did. I owe you one." And she was like, "Yeah, no problem. And I like seeing you happy." I was like, "Wow, she's really cool." Anyways, a few weeks later passed, and I asked Maya on our first official date alone. I think the movie that we watched, it was a Superman movie, The Man of Steel. Look up one from 2006 or 2004. That's the one we watched. In the middle of the movie, I noticed that Maya is not. I grabbed her hand, but she takes it away. I was like, wow. I was like, my breath smells or what? Am I doing something wrong here? Anyways, she tells me right in the end of the movie, I'm moving out. I was like, okay, but where are you going? And she was like, no, my dad got a new job in the US. I'm leaving to Miami, Florida tomorrow. And I was like, why you didn't tell me this? And she was like, I didn't want to tell you this because I knew that this was going to break the relationship. I didn't want to face it. And I was like, Maya, that's worse than anything. You should have told me. I didn't want to pressure you to come here if you didn't feel good about it. Anyways, not to tell you, I saw her leaving the movie theater and I just couldn't follow her. I just sat on a bench on the mall looking down the floorboard, and I was just crying. I waited probably 2 hours before reaching home and telling my mom that she could pick me up. And she was like, "How was the movie?" I was like, "Oh, it was okay. Yeah, boring." I reached home and I probably cried for 2 weeks. And then when Maya left the US, she said, "Oh, my dad said we might visit Costa Rica again, the country I live." And I was like, "Okay, that's good. That's really good." Sadly, that day never arrived. I don't know if that was something that her dad told her or she was lying to me. I'll never know. So the communication on Messenger started dying because social media took over, and I refused to create a MySpace or High Five because, I don't like social media. I don't do anyways these days, right? And well, anyways, that thing died, and I was just staring at our old conversations of I love you too, I love you more. Gabby messaged me and says, "Oh, I heard that Maya left," and I was like, "Yeah, she left." And she was like, "And what are you gonna do this summer?" Because it was probably the end of the year, and honestly, I wasn't a good student. I mean, my grades were okay, but I didn't behave well. I joked too much and distracted people. I used to have attention deficit disorder with hyperactivity. If you're from the 90s, you probably were diagnosed that, along with a lot of other stuff. Anyways, Gabby asked me, "What are you gonna do this summer? Any plans?" I told her I have to go to it's like a summer camp. Well, it's not a camp. It's like I have to go on school on summer, right? Summer school. And she told me, "Wow, why?" And I start telling her all these problems that I had, and she was like, "But you're gonna go the entirety of the vacations on school?" I was like, "Yeah, I have to, otherwise I will flunk seventh grade." And that place was really scary. It was just like six people, and nobody was my grade. They were all ninth graders, 10th graders, 11th graders. So I pretty much had to act rough on them so they didn't bully me. Pretty much telling them to F off and to leave me alone and, uh, you know, dress in ways that they wouldn't make fun. Like, I had to wear like t-shirts that are band related, like to hardcore and metal groups. So they will be like, oh yeah, this guy, it's tough. Anyways, the first week or so, I'm getting to know how the teachers really are like outside of classes, and I actually appreciate teachers more because I got to meet them without them being so formal. I actually found a teacher watching porn on a computer school, and he was like, "You don't mind if I watch this, right?" I was like, "I don't care." And he was like, "Yeah, it's just that when you guys are around, I cannot watch it, but on summer school, there are no like rules here." And one of my teachers told me something that will stick with me for the rest of of my life. He said, "When you have a job, or when you get a job, when you become an adult, you will cherish the moments that you were in school because you have no idea how much freedom you have that and how much freedom you lose when you have a job and responsibilities. That was very chilling, and I know when I turned 19 that that is true. Anyways, the week that I was there, it was very scary the first 2 days, but then I was just, doing good, getting my grades, passing all the tests, and my teachers told me you should be done very soon. You're gonna approve and you're gonna go to eighth grade. Gabby messaged me on my cell phone, and she tells me, "Hey, are you in school?" And I told her, "Yes, summer school. I'm here." Gabby tells me, "I'm also here. Uh, I brought you something," and I was like, "Why do you come here? You're not. You didn't. You already passed to eighth grade, right?" Me being the dumb teenager. And she was like, "Okay, just come here. I have something." And she brought like some gummy bears. And she was like, "Do you want some?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, Gabby. But what are you doing here?" And she was like, "I want to see you." And I was like, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I know that you were heartbroken by Maya, and it must be very hard on you to be on summer school while everybody it's off enjoying the summer. So I decided to come here and see you to see if you're doing okay." That thing really warmed me up. Like I was so happy. Like I hug her and I say, "You have no idea how much this means. It has been so hard. I lost Maya. I was about to flunk seventh grade. This is too much for me. Typical cringy teenage stuff." Anyways, she tells me, "Don't worry, I'm here for you." When she told me I'm here for you, I just felt something in me that said, "She's the one. She's the one." And I told her, "You want to look at the class inside? They're moving stuff." And, it was pretty much empty. The desk and the chairs where you sit were gone. So I was on a recess. Our recess were very long on summer school. And I told her, "Let's enter." And we just sit like on a corner eating gummy bears. And she said, "Do you want another one?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she put ones on her mouth. And she's like, "It's here. Come and take it." So, of course, I kissed her. And he was so passionate that I was like, wow, I love the kisses from this girl. To this day, it's probably one of the most violent and passionate kisses that I have received, by weird as that sounds. She kissed like if she was going to rip off my mouth, but in such a passionate way that she will drive you nuts. Not doing anything else, just kissing you. Anyways, we kiss, and I'm all like blushing and stuff. And I just tell her, "I really like you." And she says, "I love you since day one, but you love Maya, so I never told you anything." And I was like, "No way." Anyways, the bell sounds and I have to go back. And I told her, "I wish I could stay with you forever within this space of time. It's perfect. I only need you, and that's it. I don't need anything else." She just smiled at me and told me she loved me. And I told her I love her back. Anyways, I go back and my teacher asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you look like you're sweating, like if you're hot. I mean, it's let's say summer, but it looks like you're hyperventilating." I was like, "No, no, I'm doing fine." Anyways, it a few weeks passes and we're just flirting over Messenger. I pass summer school, but when I pass summer school, like the beginning of eighth grade, where I'm thinking, well, she's gonna be my girlfriend and stuff, my dad throws me a bomb and he says, "I'm not going to pay for your school anymore." I was on a private school. And that's the end of the world for me. I just, my heart got broken by the first girl I like. I almost flunked seventh grade. I also lost my best friend because he betrayed me. And now I'm also losing Gabby. Because me and my 14 or 15-year-old brain, I thought moving from school means losing your friends, which is in a sense true. Just like when you move to a workplace, you don't talk to your old coworkers. Normally. Anyways, I tell Gabby we need to break up, that I love her so much, but I just can't deal with this anymore. And my dad also drops a bombshell that he's not only taking me out of school, but he's not paying the house that he agreed to pay on the divorce. So we're also losing our house. Everything was crashing down in my life so fast that I just was on a dark hole, on a void that I just didn't know anything, like why this is happening. I even thought there was a curse put on us or something, but I just felt so bad every day. And I told Gabby, I cannot go forward with this. I'm very sorry. I love you, but we won't be seeing each other anymore. And because, I was going to, I didn't even know if I was going to finish my high school education. So everything in my surrounding was crashing. My mom was crying. And that was the first time that I saw my mom cried, which really changed me to this day. Anyways, I break up with Gabby and I was probably maybe 17, 16. When I was on Messenger, yes, still on Messenger, and she messaged me. I moved to a different house. I went through a lot of hardships. Um, you know, a lot of stuff happened. She messaged me when and says, "Hey, I want to see you. I'm close to your house, to your new house." And I was like, "Wow, okay." She knows where I live again. Awesome, right? She's at this mall that has movies and everything. So I go and see her very happy. And I didn't know how she looked because, I didn't have social media. I arrived there and this girl in black, all black, like white, very white and black hair, which dark clothing and smoking tells me, "Hey, you're here. Thanks for coming." I was like, "Gavi?" And she said, "Yeah, it's me." Why? I was like, "You look so different. What happened to the blonde girl that brought me all those gummy bears?" And she said, "Oh, yeah. I remember stupid me, right?" I was like, "That's not stupid. I actually really like that version of you." He said, "Why? You don't like what you see?" I'm like, I was like, "It's not that. You're a beautiful girl. It's just that it's very shocking to see you go from this cute girl to like this god style." Anyways, um, my dad trying to trying to gain my love and trust again after all the atrocities he did. He gave me an iPod. And me being a tech nerd, I was like playing with apps. I never seen apps before, so I was playing with apps. And the phone was also jailbreak, so I had a lot of apps. So while I was talking with Gavi, I was like looking through my iPod because I had my phone and my iPod, right? Music and yeah, music couldn't be on the phone back in the day, right? And Gabby tells me, "You really like that iPod, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's really fun. I never had applications before, so I'm having fun." And she's like, "It looks like you're bored of me." I was like, "I'm not really bored of you. I'm just shocked. I mean, you called me out of nowhere after all these years, and I'm really sorry for what I did to you. I didn't want to break up. I thought that my life was going to end. Not even kidding. I thought that we were going to die or something." And she said, "No, it's fine. It's fine. I changed a lot too." She said, "You know what? Now that I look this hot, all the guys, even your friends, were calling me to date me, and I turned them all, I just tell them no because, I like to keep my options open." I was like, "Well, that's really good that you actually have the confidence to do that. It's good that you have confidence in yourself." Anyways, something about me is that I don't express a lot of feelings. So if you tell me something, even though it's shocking, I'll just, just look you and say, "Okay, yes, okay, okay, that's amazing." So she gets upset at me because probably I didn't react the way she wanted to. And she said, "Oh, you know what? I'm leaving." I was like, "What do you mean you're leaving?" She said, "Yeah, this guy that I'm seeing is going to pick me up." And I was like, "Okay, is he your boyfriend?" I said, "No, it's just a guy that I go out and make out with. He's like 20 something and I'm 16 and I don't care. He's just one of my six boyfriends that I have." I was like, "Well, good. You're attractive. You're dating people. Good for you, Gabriella." And she was like, "Well, yeah. Can you take me to the exit while I wait for him?" I was like, "Yep." She was leaning against the wall, like smoking a mint flavored cigarette. And she looks at me and tells me, "Do you remember back in summer school what we did?" And I was like, "Yep, I remember." And she was like, "Hey, come here." And I was like, "What?" She grabbed my hand and she said, "Wow, your fingers are really long." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember you mentioned that when we kissed." And she said, "Let's do it again." And I was like, "Do what?" She was like, "Kissing." And I was like, "Are you sure? Don't you have a boyfriend?" As before I finished my sentence, she just violently grabbed my head and pushed me against her. And like I said, she kisses in a way that makes you believe that she's gonna suck your tongue and teeth and your jaw out of you. And she said, "Oh, the guy that I'm dating is here. See ya." And just leaves me there thinking, what the hell just happened? Anyways, I message her and I tell her, Gabby, does this mean we're dating? What's going on? She didn't respond. A few years pass by and I'm already working. She calls me and tells me, "Hey, you want to come to my house?" And I was like, "Okay, let's go. Let's go." And she tells me, "What have you been doing?" I was like, "Well, I cannot afford university of or college, so I'm working." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm studying. I don't remember what career. Her mom was very wealthy, so she had the possibility of studying without working. You know what I mean?" And she tells me, "I want to be a mom soon. Like, we're probably, when she called me, she was probably like 18. I was 21 or 20. And I told her, Gabby, don't you think it's kind of dumb, like trying to have kids this early? Like, you don't even have a job." And she was like, "Yeah, but, you know, I just want to have kids before 25. How about you?" I was like, "I don't even know if I want kids. I mean, I'm trying to figure out my life. It has been a train wreck since 2004, and it was like 2009 or 10. And I'm still trying to figure out my life." And she said, "Yeah, I bet you missed that the fact that you could have me as your girlfriend." I was like, "I do, but there's nothing I can do. There's no turning back. Our lives are very different." Anyway, she tells me all these things like, uh, you know, I'm going to study X, Y, and Z. I live, and she messaged me and said, "I miss you." Told her I miss you too. She stops talking to me. I start working like a year later, and she messaged me again and she said, "Do you want to come to my house?" I was like, "Okay, sure." When I go to her house, there's one girl that they call her I don't know the word in English for this, like a marginal person, like somebody that is poor, but in a mocking way, like, she's like a brokey or something, like a broke person. And there were also two male friends of her. I didn't know. And Gabby will just tell him, "This was the guy that broke my heart," etc. I was like, "Yeah, that's me. If you need me to break any of your guys' heart, I'm here for you. I break it really good." Anyways, I noticed that her, let's say, poor friend is looking at me, and I say, "Hey, my name is X, Y, and Z." And she said, "Yeah, my name is Jessica or something. Jennifer." It was with J. And I tell her, "Nice to meet you." And Gabby comes next to me and tells me, "Do you know Jessica or Jennifer, whatever is her name, has a crush on you?" I was like, "Gabby, there's no way. We just met. And I don't like her. Sorry for being vain, but she's not my type." And she said, "Oh, because she's poor." I was like, "I don't care if she's poor or rich. It's just that I don't like her, period." He said, "Oh my God, but I just told Jessica or Jennifer that you're going to go out with her." I was like, "Why do you try to hook me up with people that I don't know? I don't try to hook you up with my friends." And she was like, "Yeah, but I told her about the wonderful guy you are." I was like, "You were talking crap about me like 20 minutes nonstop. Like, come on." And she was like, "Yeah, but she thinks you're really attractive." And I was like, "Okay, I don't like her. Do you want me to tell her to her face, or are you going to tell her? Because I'm not here to entertain your plans of acting like a dating service." Anyways, we go to Gabby's pool because she live in apartment complex that had a pool. Very, very nice apartment complex. And we go to a pool just to sit on those pool furniture that it's there. You know what I mean? The ones that are near the pools, the white ones. And Gabby tells something to Jessica or Jennifer, I don't remember her name, that makes her cry and she just leaves. And Gabby tells me, "Are you happy?" I told her that you don't like her. I was like, "Gabby, I never wanted to be here. I thought we were going to talk about you and me, and you bring all these random people that I don't know." Anyways, she leaves and the other two guys leave. So I tell her, "Gabby, I think it's time for me to go now. I don't even know why I came here." I'm calling the taxi because Ubers didn't exist back in the day, right? And as soon as I'm calling the taxi, I'm waiting outside of Gabby's place because her mom was a surgeon or something, so she wasn't home. And Gabby comes out with this bathrobe where I could almost see her naked body. And she said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I told you I was leaving and you told me it was okay." And she said, "Yeah, but do you want any of this?" And I was like, "Of course I do, but I'm leaving." And she was like, "Yeah, but cancel the taxi and stay the night with me. I'm gonna really make it worth it." And I was like, "As much as I want that, Gabby, I have to work tomorrow and I cannot miss work. Seriously, this is my first year at work and I don't want to miss a day at work. They're very severe when people skip work. You can get fired." And she said, "Oh, you're gonna reject me again?" I was like, "No, just let's schedule this for some other day, and I'll come here and do whatever you want." And she was like, "No, I want you now. If you don't want me now, just leave." I was like, "Okay, all right, I'm leaving. Have a good one." And she just, flashed me a little bit of her body, and I was like, "I'm tempted, but I need to go. The responsibility of a job is, greater than just a one night stand or something." She was very upset and slammed the door at me, and I was like, "Okay, nothing I can do." Anyways, fast forward probably before I met that Sharon girl, and Gabby calls me again and tells me, "Hey, do you want to go to a beach?" And I was like, "Okay, let's go to a beach with this girl." She picks me up on her car, and she was with another girl named Gemma and another guy. I don't remember his name. That he was a DJ at a club. I remember that. And she told me, "Oh, it's my friend's Gemma's birthday." I was like, "Okay, happy birthday." I didn't even know. And anyways, it was that awkward moment. Like they were all talking about university and stuff. Like, "Oh, remember when we went out and stuff like that?" And I was just looking at the window. And I was like, "I don't even know why I came here. I wanted to go to a beach, but this is so cringe." We reached the beach, and basically, I noticed that this girl Gemma and this DJ are making out on the beach. And I noticed that that Gemma girl goes and gets something from her car because our country is so small that you can get to a beach in an hour. And you can park like literally next to the beach, and you need to get something, or you go to your car and come back, right? And I noticed Gabby starts making out with the DJ. And I was like, wow, you just betrayed your friend, because she comes and talks to me like nothing happened. Say, "Hey, are you enjoying this?" And I was like, "Enjoying what? The beach?" "Yeah." He said, "No, no, no. Did you enjoy what you saw?" And I was like, "What, you making out with that DJ guy?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't care. We're not a couple." And she was like, "Yeah, I could see that you're upset." I was like, "I'm not upset. I just don't care. Do you brought me for this?" And she was like, "No, I brought you because I don't see you anymore. Like, what you been up to?" I was like, "Working, Gabby. I told you, working. There's nothing much besides work. My work is very boring. There's nothing I can tell you, right?" Anyways, she starts acting weird and kisses me and says, "It doesn't matter if Gemma is dating the DJ or I'm dating the DJ. Let's continue where we left off at my house." I was like, "I'm not going to do it in a public beach or in a hotel or something like that, because, you told me this is a trip to go in one day. Tomorrow I have to work. You always do this to me. You know my days off, and you always tell me, let's go to X, Y, and Z place. And you know that I have to work on the next day. I told you my schedule many times." Anyways, she drops me home, and that's it. I don't hear from her. A year later, she says, "What are you doing?" It was later on the night. I was like, "I'm resting because I just finished working." She was like, "Do you want to come to a party?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" My mom always tells me, "Go out as much as you can. Don't stay home. Try to, socialize more." And I tell her, "Okay, mom, you're right." So Gabriela tells me, "Come to this house, come to this place, to this party place, party house, party warehouse. I don't remember what it was." She gives me the address, and I go there, and it's this club with a DJ like on a glass pedestal or something very weird. And I reach there, I cannot even find her. She finds me, hugs me hard, and she starts dancing with other people. And I was like, "Gabby, you know that I don't dance, right? Like, I just came here to see you. What's going on?" And she said, "Oh no, it's my friend's Gemma's birthday." I was like, "Again?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So I was sitting there on a couch by myself, like talking to a friend on text messages, having fun. And two hours later, and I noticed, what am I even doing here? I noticed Gabby dancing very close to like two guys, and I was like, is she trying to make me jealous or something? I don't understand this chick. I left, and she messaged me like at 2 a.m. "Where are you?" And I was like, "Home." And she was like, "Why do you went home?" I was like, "Why am I doing a club of music that I don't like when I don't even dance? And I don't know any of your friends." And she said, "Oh, you're so boring." I was like, "If I'm so boring, stop inviting me to your weird adventures." Anyways, let's fast forward to 2017. Those instances were like years apart. And I had a new job, which is paying very good. And I see myself, getting a better life, better job quality. better life quality, having more confidence in myself. And she calls me and says, "Hey," and I say, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, not much really." She says, "I'm gonna get married." And I was like, "Okay, is the guy nice?" "Oh, he's nice. He's handsome. He's rich." I was like, "It sounds like you found the perfect guy. Congratulations." And she said, "Do you want to tell me something?" I was like, "Yeah, congratulations. Am I getting invited to the wedding?" And she was like, "Of course you are. I will let you know when I marry him." I was like, "Okay, sure. Anything else?" And she was like, "No, no, no. I just wanted to see if you had something to say because we dated." I was like, "No, no, no. Tell him he's a lucky guy. I hope that you guys last forever and that he's the one." She hung up the phone on me. And that was the last time I knew about her, at least maybe uh, during COVID-19 when she messaged me again and asked me, "Can I see a picture of you?" And now my hair is very long. And she said, "Wow, your hair is long now." I was like, "Yeah, what you were expecting?" And she was like, "I don't know. The same guy with medium short hair that I met in high school." I was like, "Well, no." She was like, "Okay, bye." Anyways, this girl, for some reason, every couple of years tries to get me or tries to get my attention for some strange reason. But I always wonder, was she the right one? Am I weird? Is she obsessed with me? Or what is exactly going on? I don't even understand to say why she called me all those times. Was she trying to make fun of me? Was she trying to lure me to some place? Was she just trying to get me to be with her one night stand and then dump me to let her know that I want her? This is the creepiest girl that I ever met, in the sense that she, I think, was obsessed with me. I was obsessed with her when I was in love with her, of course, like any teenager. But every now and then, I think she checks on me and tries to ask me, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend now?" Um, Honestly, because of her attitude and other things that I've seen, it's a big turnoff from the girl that she used to be. I even told her, "I wish you would have stayed the way we were in high school." Because I'm still in love with that beautiful girl that brought me gummy bears. It gave me the second most passionate kiss that I will ever have. But sadly, she turned into this weird character that every now and then stalks me and checks on me like if I was some kind of her property. So those were two obsession stories. They were not that scary. I guess you can laugh at this, but I always wonder, what is exactly what causes people to be in love? Is it a chemical? Is it hormones? Or is there a true connection that we feel with somebody that makes us go insane just to be with that person and feel that again? And yet I find that so terrifying and dangerous. And we can go to so much, disregard so many red flags just not to feel alone or just to feel that drug called love. Thank you. That was all. Thank you again for listening.